Very important, sir. Sir, many fund managers, we see across the fund managers, even today, before, let me start
first,
with that.
You will ask, let them just give the little intro of
No,
whatever. First.
You can
Of
give
whatever.
About.
Thanks a lot, Kanakji, Rameshji, and thanks for inviting me to this wonderful conference, 5th year. The good thing is, मैं दिल्ली वाला ही हूँ, so it's so good to welcome all of you to Delhi. Welcome to my city. I hope Delhi is treating you well and you are really enjoying yourselves. So एक चीज़ मैं पहले clear कर दूँ, मंत्री जी के साथ मैं कभी जीत नहीं पाया हूँ. इनको मैं 25 साल से जानता हूँ, मेरे बहुत ही करीबी मित्र हैं, इनसे कभी मैं जीता नहीं हूँ. और हारने में मेरे को बड़ा मज़ा आता है विजय से, क्योंकि हमेशा मैं कुछ सीख के ही जाता हूँ. सो विद दैट बैकग्राउंड आई जस्ट वांट टू स्टार्ट बाय सेइंग कि टाइमलेस प्रिंसिपल्स वर्सेस वर्ल्ड अफेयर्स, एक्चुअली फ्रॉम योर पर्सपेक्टिव, आपके दृष्टिकोण से दोनों मैटर करते हैं. उसका एक रीज़न ये है कि मैं आपको कुछ उदाहरण देना चाहूँगा वाई दे मैटर. एक पूरा सेक्टर ही हमारे इंडस्ट्री में क्रिएट हो चुका है कॉल्ड द डिफेंस सेक्टर. एंड यहाँ पे HDFC म्यूचुअल फंड की टीम है, यहाँ पे राजीव भी आए हुए हैं. दे लॉन्च द फर्स्ट फंड इन द डिफेंस सेक्टर. दैट सेक्टर हैज़ कम इन टू द बीइंग फॉर इंडियन इन्वेस्टर्स बिकॉज ऑफ व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड. एंड आई वॉन्टेड यू टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दुनिया के किसी एक कोने में अगर कुछ घटना घट रही है, उसका डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट कभी ना कभी ग्लोबल इकोनॉमीज एंड इंडियन इकोनॉमी एंड इंडियन कैपिटल मार्केट्स पे भी होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ये जो युद्ध चल रहा है बिटवीन रशिया एंड यूक्रेन, आपको पता है उसकी वजह से इन्फ्लेशन और इंटरेस्ट रेट्स हैव गॉन अप इन US एंड इन यूरोप. इन लोगों ने 40-50 साल में इन्फ्लेशन का नाम नहीं देखा है और इंटरेस्ट रेट्स इनके ज़ीरो ही रहे हैं. और आज इस इलेक्शन में ट्रंप वर्सेस हैरिस, द नंबर 1 एजेंडा इज महंगाई बढ़ गई है. सो आप सोच सकते हो, जो कि 40-50 सालों में नहीं हुआ है, वो इस बारी द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स इज फेसिंग, द यूरोपियंस आर फेसिंग. एंड आई एम नाउ कमिंग क्लोजर होम. इन इंडिया वी वर टोल्ड आफ्टर द वॉर वॉज गोइंग ऑन दैट आप ईरान से ऑयल नहीं ले सकते और आप रशिया से भी ऑयल नहीं ले सकते. एंड वॉट इज द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया डन? गॉन एंड टेकन अ हार्ड स्टैंड, अ कॉन्फिडेंट स्टैंड दैट वी विल बाय रशियन ऑयल एट 30% डिस्काउंट. अगर वो नहीं हो रहा होता तो आप सोचो आज की डेट में इन्फ्लेशन कहाँ होता, कॉस्ट कहाँ होते, और इंटरेस्ट रेट्स कहाँ होते, और कैपिटल मार्केट्स कहाँ होते. सो आई एम जस्ट लीविंग दिस आइडिया विद ऑल ऑफ यू दैट टाइमलेस प्रिंसिपल्स ऑलवेज क्रिएट वेल्थ, बट वॉट इज हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑलवेज प्रिजर्व्स वेल्थ. सो दोनों को साथ में रखिए, नज़रिया रखिए. और एक लास्ट एग्जाम्पल मैं अपना देना चाहूँगा. मेरा सोर्स ऑफ इनकम आजकल केवल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ही है. मेरा 80% पैसा एक्विटीज़ में है, पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैं लार्ज कैप में नहीं हूँ, कि मैं IT में नहीं हूँ, कि मैं फार्मा में नहीं हूँ. सारा का सारा पैसा मेरा स्मॉल कैप में नहीं है. सो विद दैट आई टेक अ पॉज, आई लेट विजय स्पीक एंड देन वील स्पीक फर्दर.
So Kanak bhai, Ramesh ji, thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of you for being here. When history is being created, there's no point looking at history. And India is the influx of history being created. We have a geopolitical risk. I don't know how it will get played out in short term. Ukraine, Russia, China, Taiwan, China, India, Bangladesh. I don't know how it get played out. But what is one of the biggest geopolitical risk right now? The world have 800 crore people. Only 145 crore lives in India. The geopolitical risk to rest of 645 crore people, they are not born in India. So that is one geopolitical risk. The second geopolitical risk, that suppose you don't have presence in India as an enterprise, that is a global risk, geopolitical risk. And third risk, suppose you are not participating in one of the most exciting country in the world, then that is geopolitical risk for you. I'm talking about global context. If you look at India, what this country has achieved over the last 50, 60, 70 years is incredible. We sometimes don't appreciate the fact the way India grew. I remember for last 30 years since I started understanding economy, people have been talking about death of dollar, US में recession आएगा, ये बातें होती रहती है. And they see everything from a historical perspective because Spain ruled for 200 years, Britain ruled for 200 years, यूएसए का 100 ईयर का रूल खत्म होने वाला ऐसा लोग बोल रहे हैं. But there's some amazing thing about USA which many people don't appreciate. Number one, and I'll connect dot to India. Number one, US perhaps is the only country in the world which pays its own debts in own currency. A luxury not available to any other country perhaps. Number two, US is the one country where the lawmakers come from business background. They are not NGO-led activists or a scholar or a professor or lawyers. Most of the guys who get elected to US Senate are people who come from business background. Number three, US is the country where the best talent goes at their own expenses to that country. So it lead in innovation. Number four, US lead in innovation. But do you know US also lead in meat production, also lead in wheat production, corn production, and one of the best natural resources in the world. So there are some amazing things which goes about USA. And similarly, there are some amazing thing about India which we don't appreciate, sometimes we don't recognize. US have a border. On one end you have Pacific Ocean, another end you have Atlantic Ocean, you have Mexico and Canada. And look at border of India. And then put in context how much progress we have made as a nation, and we are a democracy. Just look at a family. You want to go for a dinner. Can you decide which restaurant to go? And now we are talking about 145 crore people's direction. It's very difficult to govern a democracy than an autocratic country like China. Second thing, what we have done as a country since independence. When India got independence in 1947, we had a 33 crore population, 30 crore or 33 crore population, and we used to import food item. At 145 crore population, we are exporting food item. We used to import drugs. Today, 20% of world drugs are supplied by India. 16% of world's vaccination is supplied by India. If you look at transformation, the kind of transformation this country has made is unbelievable. If you look at the corporate India, Reliance Industry in first year in 1973 made 1 crore 75 crore profit, and the entire year 1 crore 75 lakh profit in 1973. And if you look at latest number of Reliance Industries PAT, the company is making 8 to 9 crore profit per hour. That is the kind of growth this country has witnessed, and you look at all parameter, and this is just the beginning. Because first time ever in the human history, one country is getting younger and rest of the world is getting older. That's why India is becoming a star attraction, and people who teach us about, give lectures about democracy. UN have 234 countries. The total number of registered voter in India exceed the combined population of 200 countries. So this is my opening remark.
Sir, we are seeing many fund managers, many analysts, everybody. That's what person in this room, everybody want to know. Everybody is telling market is overvalued, it is heat, it may correct, many things are on, many are sitting in cash. Even now, before we came to the stage, market crashed 26,266. That's a record high again. It's going on. Till how much it will go? Further. That's what everybody would like to know, whether the correction will come or not.
I don't know what will happen in short term. Correction will definitely part of the course. But what I see Nifty doing, anybody here from Nagpur? Okay. In year 2003, when the Sensex was at 3,000, I said 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 number for Sensex at that time. And I came from Gujarat. So lots of people thought कि मंत्री जी गुजरात से आए, वो dry state है, तो नागपुर में आते कुछ. So I tell you some numbers. Just keep that in context. In 2004, please note down these numbers. In 2004, when Nifty first time crossed 2,000 point, India GDP was 25 lakh crore. And the profit of listed company was 91,000 crore. When Nifty crossed 8,000, In 2015, the India GDP from 25 lakh crore moved to 128 lakh crore, 5-time growth, and the profit of listed companies had moved up from 91,000 to 3,77,000 crore rupees. So the profit has grown in line with, market has grown in line with the profit. From 8,000 of 2015, Nifty has moved to 26,000, 3-time plus growth. But what happened to corporate profitability? The corporate profit, which was 3,77,000 crore, has moved to 15 lakh crore plus number. 4-time growth. Now, why we see markets are rising too much, I tell you why. It's an optical illusion. And why it is optical illusion, let me give some 2 numbers to you again. In 2011, India's GDP was 78 lakh crore. In 2020, India's GDP from 78 lakh crore become 201 lakh crore, close to 3-time growth. But what happened to corporate profitability? It moved from 399 lakh crore to only 4 lakh 55,000 crore. So 2010 to 2020 was the lost decade for Indian equity. If you look at decadal return of Indian equity, that was the worst Indian equity delivered, only 8.5%. Because GDP was expanding, the corporate profit was not expanding because of brutal economic reform done by the current dispensation, GST, RERA, all kind of stuff. Post-COVID, we are living in a different world. So 450 lakh profit, 399 to 450 in 9-year time, but from 455 to 15 lakh in 4-year time. So this is completely driven by profit growth. And every bull market knocks off some old bulls. I don't know what will happen in next 5, 10%, 20%, लेकिन अगर आपको 20 गुना, 30 गुना पैसा बनाना है, don't worry about volatility. That is my submission, sir.
Sir, I'll come to Garan, sir. Historically, we have seen market crashing or market correcting in a bigger way when there is an issue with the country. If you see, the corrections are, if you are CAD, current account deficit, now we are under a very good stage. That's a market movement right now, it's happening also. And the other one is a physical deficit. If physical deficit is having an issue, we have seen the correction in the market. And banking system, we have one of the best banking systems in India, in the world, in the world. And inflation and debt to GDP. These are all the things or major reasons for the correction in the market. But now a new thing is born after COVID. The geopolitical war, on medical part, certain things are happening. How do you see India's geopolitical threat on India?
I'll try and answer this question with another question. Everyone sitting in this room has one huge responsibility, which is investors' wealth. मैं आप सबसे एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूँगा कि क्या आपका काम रिटर्न मैक्सिमाइजेशन है क्या? नहीं, तो क्या है काम? रिटर्न मैक्सिमाइजेशन अगर हमारा काम होता तो फिर we would have been doing some bizarre things. Because our job is not return maximization, we tend to focus on things which will take care of investors' portfolios. The data that Vijay has given and the remarkable journey of this nation is unprecedented. इस देश में मैं आपको एक चीज़ बता दूं, उसके बाद I'll answer this. 90% वेल्थ हम लोगों की अगले 20 साल में ही बनने वाली है. अभी केवल 10% बनी है. So वो डायरेक्शनली कोई डायरेक्शन में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम आती है डिस्टेंस में. जब लोगों को पैसे बनाने होते हैं 1 साल, 2 साल, 4 साल में, पैसे इतनी जल्दी नहीं बनते हैं. You have to give it time. To the question that Ramesh is asking, what is happening is, in all of the mathematics of numbers, what is getting now also added are ambitions of countries like China and India. पहले क्या था, अमेरिका for 20-25 साल सुपर पावर रह चुका है. The Russian empire broke away. The Americans faced no competition. And suddenly after 2014, China has put its hand up saying that मैं भी खेलूंगा. After that, The Americans, with their stupid policies, have pushed Russia into the arms of China. सब आप सोचिए दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है. The Americans and the Europeans are on one side, and the Russians, the Iranians, and the Chinese are on one side. और इस सब के बीच में India has to balance and play both sides. It's a very tough job for the current government, and I think they're doing a remarkable job because we deal with America and we also deal with Russia. We deal with Iran and we also deal with Israel. आज की डेट में ऐसा कोई देश नहीं है which is able to balance everything. And that is why my starting point was, agar return maximization is not your sole objective and creating wealth over decades is your objective, then my only submission is this country will create serious amount of wealth. But when things go wrong, which they could, then the portfolios should not look so skewed in favor of a sector, two sectors, or in favor of something that is currently going on, which is small cap. Just to end this conversation by way of a number, today about 130 stocks, the top 130 stocks account for 75% of market capitalization, roughly 75%. 130 कंपनीज में 75% मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है इस देश का. उसमें कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है पिछले 6-7 साल में. केवल एक्शन 25% स्टॉक्स में चल रहा है और वो 10 गुना 20 गुना बढ़ चुके हैं. बी केयरफुल इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, बिकॉज जस्ट दैट प्लस जो दुनिया में हो रहा है उसका ओवरले अगर आप करेंगे so things can get a little dicey, certainly in the sector where everything is going up. So my suggestion would be, this is the time to go back to timeless principles, start looking at things like large caps, start looking at things like pharma, start looking at things जो नहीं चले हैं, because finally पैसा वैसे ही बनता है.
I'll take on from his question, sir. His answer right now on sector. I'm seeing recent past, people are, especially clients are demanding thematic funds. The thematic story is becoming very bigger. When whoever comes with a thematic fund, they are collecting a huge amount. We have seen the story of thematic in 2000. Then later, that is IT car boom. What happened later, from where the NAV has fallen to what level. Same way, infrastructure. Before infrastructure started happening, thematic, the infrastructure sector went up to certain level, then got corrected. So now we are seeing many thematic funds are coming on in the market, and many clients are demanding, not MFDs are pushing, clients are demanding, I would like to go to that theme, this theme. What is going to be the risk faced by the investors in this by purchasing the returns?
So one need to differentiate between thematic fund and sectoral fund. A sector fund a very narrow definition. A theme have a much broader definition. The number of stock in sectoral funds are very limited, like defense have a 10-12 stock. IT top 5 company contribute 80% of the portfolio. Second, the revenue pool of most sector fund come from same kind of business like infra, railways. You spoke about, for instance, IT, or in these, the revenue pool come from same kind of sources. In thematic fund, the sector is much more broad, and sometimes business model are contrasting. They are not similar kind of business model. For instance, if you look at BFSI, so it is just not private sector bank. Your public sector banks, if one is losing market share, another is gaining. Then your housing finance company, gold loan company, personal finance company, your wealth management company, RTA, custodian, depository, stock exchanges, healthcare, insurance company, you have all kind of things. Similarly, you see in healthcare, you have a similar kind of stories. You have hospital, you have diagnostic center, API, contract manufacturer, biosimilar, you have a similar kind of thing. And if you look at consumption, it's very, very interesting theme. Alcohol is a consumption. Okay. And if you look at changing pattern, and by the way, सबसे अच्छा दान होता है जो आदमी दान करता है लेकिन राइट हैंड को मालूम नहीं पड़ रहा है कि लेफ्ट हैंड क्या कर रहा है, उसको सबसे अच्छा दान माना जाता है. When you drink alcohol, the kind of money you contribute to tax saver is unbelievable. So, अगर आप एक पैग ले रहे हो तो किसी घर में अटल पेंशन योजना जा रही है, दूसरा पैग लिया तो चावल आ गया किसी घर में, तीसरा पैग आ गया तो so drink without guilt, okay? And similar kind of service is done by F&O guys as well because they contribute large amount of tax to the government. So both of things are great for the country. So there's a second. Third part is like, what is then consumption? It is not FMCG alone. You have a pharmaceutical company, because if you're a diabetic patient, if you're a BP patient, is a consumption. Alcohol, jewelry is a consumption. Travel is a consumption. The sector is much more broad. And in India, this sector will run for decades. So healthcare will run for decade. If you look at food consumption, Indian thali, and you compare from 2011 to 2024, in 3 eatable item, the share has gone more than twice. Packaged food, preservatives, and alcohol. More you consume this product, more you consume pharmaceutical product. Is absolutely aligned, and you see more you order from Zomato and Swiggy, more you need pharmaceutical product. We align hai. What is happening in fund industry is something very, very amazing. And this brings to my question. So one fund guys came and told me that we are very bullish on this sector. I said, that's great. So I told him, तुम्हारे existing fund में overweight कितना उसका? तो overweight नहीं है. What I've seen something very, very interesting, and I'll run it through some number. If you look at Nifty 500 delivered 38.7% return in last 1 year. 74 stock deliver more than 100%. 140 stock deliver more than 50%. Only 246 stock deliver 38.7%. What is the story? I'll explain you why people are chasing thematic fund, why thematic fund will continue to do well, not sectoral. If you look at Nifty delivered 26.77% return, but equal weightage Nifty delivered 38% return. 4 stock deliver more than 100%. 11 stock deliver more than 50%. 17 stock deliver more than 40%. 31 stock deliver more than 28%. But still many fund underperform. Now why? This is a very interesting story. So if you look at Nifty's breakup of return, the number one performed stock was Shriram Finance, 112%. Coal India, Bajaj Auto, and Mahindra and Mahindra. Stock which didn't deliver well, HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, IndusInd Bank, HDFC Life, Britannia, Asian Paint, Titan, these kind of names. If I'm a fund manager and if I own HDFC Bank and I underperform, my CEO will tell me what is wrong with HDFC Bank. But suppose I own Shriram Finance and Shriram Finance underperform, then he'll ask me what is wrong with you. Okay, so what is happening? Because the fund size has become so much, the compensation of fund manager is skyrocketed. They are not taking enough risk. They are not running active share. And that's why smart money is moving toward thematic fund. And this theme, pharmaceutical, you have healthcare. We believe healthcare will do very well. How much overweight you have in healthcare? Healthcare ka weightage 8% hai. People will not go more than 10%. So where the wealth will be created. So there I see huge opportunity in my opinion. If you pick a right theme properly at right time, and these themes will run for multi-years. Healthcare, consumption, BFSI, because economy is saving, economy is getting more and more formal. So that is what I see happening.
Thank you, sir.
I'll just, Ramesh ji, add to what Vijay is saying. I think एक चीज़ और क्या होता है कि बुल मार्केट में ना सबसे ज़्यादा मिस्टेक्स बुल मार्केट में ही होती हैं. So वो भाव में हम भी बह जाते हैं. But from a fund manager's point of view, this is the toughest time because पैसा आ रहा है और डिप्लॉय भी करना है. कैश में रह गए तब पंगा, और अगर डिप्लॉय करके you don't get into the right sectors, stocks, etc., then valuation can hurt you in times to come. So what I'm trying to understand and trying to see from your point of view, that this is not an easy time. It is equally hard when it is a bull phase, because then you have to make sure that mistakes are not made for the future. So I kind of empathize, because this is so tough, because you go back to a customer और a client जो कह रहा है मैं अभी चेक काटने को तैयार हूँ, ये मेरा बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग 1 year फंड X है, और आप उनको बोल रहे हो नहीं ये मत करो, आप बैलेंस एडवांटेज ले लो. So that conversation is a very tough conversation. In that scenario, my point is always stick to your guns. जो आपने सोचा है कि is correct for the investor, उससे आप मत हिलिए. So that to my mind makes a lot of difference, because अगले 10 साल के रिटर्न आज के डिसीजन पे बेस्ड होंगे.
Sir, on geopolitical. See, there are multiple formats of war. One is water, the other is narrative, cyber, and electronic, semiconductors, media war, etc., etc. How do you see India in this?
So my favorite slide when I speak these days is this one slide, which is now in India, we face 9 formats of warfare, 9 different formats, and उनमें एक भी format bullet या missile नहीं है, which is known in the world as kinetic war. Kinetic war is the last thing we are facing right now, but we face every other thing. And I'm going to talk about 2 formats, which to my mind are very important. One, Ramesh ji spoke about water war, and I'm going to give you an example of what this means. The Indian government in the 50s and 60s signed the Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan. It is the most lopsided agreement anywhere signed in the world because the law suggests, global law suggests, कि जो भी ऊपर region में है, they get access to water, and जो नीचे वाले region में है, they can be permitted water. अपना Indus Water Treaty बिल्कुल उल्टा है. Pakistan gets 80% of water from the Himalayas and we get access to 20% of the water. बिल्कुल उल्टा. और आपको जान के ये हैरानी होगी कि वो 20% भी हमको अलाउड नहीं है यूज़ करना, उसका भी हम केवल 6% यूज़ करते हैं. So now what the Indian government is saying, if Pakistan continues cross-border terrorism, then we want to relook at the Indus Water Treaty, which basically means कि हमारे जो 20% allotted हैं, हमको वो पूरा 20% पानी चाहिए. What that could mean for a country like Pakistan is that they will face drought and their crop production will fall dramatically. And this is something that is happening with Pakistan. On the other side, our war with China on water is on Brahmaputra. Because जब वो चाहते हैं ब्रह्मपुत्र से जो डैम कंस्ट्रक्शन किया हुआ है, without telling us, they raise or close the Brahmaputra dams and Assam gets flooded. So the point, without getting too detailed into this, what I'm trying to tell you is किस फॉर्मेट में लड़ाई हो रही है वो हमको इस रूम में पता नहीं चलता है, मगर इंडिया इज फेसिंग ईच ऑफ देम एंड फेसिंग इट वेरी एडमिरेबली, बिकॉज आई मस्ट टेल यू ये पॉलिटिकल आंसर नहीं है. आई एम नॉट ट्राइंग टू से दिस फ्रॉम अ political party's point of view, but in the last 10 years we've never seen a government that has taken such hard stance as this government has taken. The second example I want to give you is narrative war, media war. आपको जान के ये आश्चर्य होगा कि 18 से 20 बिलियन डॉलर एनुअल स्पेंड होता है टू मेक अप योर एंड माई माइंड और टू चेंज माई माइंड और टू चेंज योर माइंड. 18-20 बिलियन डॉलर जस्ट टू ऑल्टर योर थॉट प्रोसेस. एंड अगर ऑल्टर हो गया थॉट प्रोसेस, सो उस केस में आप देख सकते हो कि इस लोकसभा इलेक्शन में रिजल्ट क्या हुए थे. एंड दैट कैन हैव अ बिट ऑफ एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन द जर्नी ऑफ अ नेशन. So ये formats of war, cyber, water, media wars, semiconductor wars, technology wars, trade war, ये सारे के सारे simultaneously ये देश झेल रहा है और simultaneously एक पे आक्रमण भी कर रहा है. So we're not sitting quiet. That I can tell you for sure.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what are the tactic shifts which is happening right now, because taking place in Indian economy, which are ignored by the analyst right now?
So one is the formalization of Indian economy, and I'll give some number to you. India import 850 tons of gold every year. That is valued around 7 lakh crore. And around, you can take 70%, 80% goes into jewelry. So 5 lakh crore is jewelry. Now in year 2000, only 5% of that market share belonged to organized jewelers. That number has become 40%. So the part of the profit pool which was not available in the formal economy is becoming part of profit pool. Second, look at the mobile phone, what mobile phone is doing. Most of your personal expenses are now part of recorded books. You order pharmaceutical, grocery, movie ticket, airline ticket, book hotels, cosmetic, whatever you're doing through mobile phone, earlier that was part of the cash economy. Now it is becoming part of formal economy. Look at health. 5 years, 10 years back, how many people used to take advantage of health insurance? You go to hospital, settle bill in cash. Now you go for health insurance, so that entire value chain is being captured. So one is big formalization. Second, 2-3 amazing things happening in this country. Import substitution, I'll give some numbers to you. Baseline of India has also gone up. For instance, in year 2013, we used to manufacture 13 lakh air condition. This year we manufacture 1.2 crore, 9 times growth in AC. In year 2013, for per AC, 200 rupees were imported item. Now that number has come down to $72, from $200 to $72. Look and see what happened to Voltas in last 10 years. The stock has gone up 8 to 9 times because of this. Look at mobile manufacturing. We used to export $5 to $6 billion of mobile and used to capture only 5-6% of the value. Today we are exporting $25 billion of mobile phone and capturing 15 to 16, 18% of value. Even China, which is light year ahead of us in manufacturing, only captured 35 to 40%. Auto ancillary, in 2013 we used to import $1 billion of auto ancillaries. Today that number has become zero. And if you listen to Dixon Technologies COO, what they're saying, in next coming years, India will stop importing electronic items. So import substitution, rising per capita income, consumption, we don't notice it. But as one of the fund managers very rightly said, the biggest boom in cosmetic happened after invention of a smartphone. Because you need to consume more lip balm, more cosmetic, because you need to create reel. So this is being not captured by people. So just look at the gold alone. If nothing happened, the formalization itself, look at what happened to hotel industry. The hotel industry in last 2 years made the kind of money they haven't made collectively in last 10 years. So this trend or formula, and third thing, which is very important, premier product consumption. Okay, India 145 crore people, 10 crore people file income tax return. Even let's assume people are paying income tax, that is 3 crore population. Now what is the population of Taiwan? 2 crore 32 lakh. Australia 2 crore 67 lakh. Canada less than 4 crore. France, Germany 6-7, Germany 9 crore. Japan 12 crore, USA 35 crore. Now the consumption power of these people will get unleashed. And when you start per capita income start earning, you don't consume more, you consume more expensive item. And one of the illustration is that 30 years back, नहाने और कपड़े धोने का साबुन एक होता था. बाद में बोला कि नहीं नहाने का कपड़े धोने का साबुन अलग, बाद में बोला कि नहीं बाल के लिए अलग प्रोडक्ट इस्तेमाल होता है, साबुन अलग इस्तेमाल होता है. फिर अभी कंडीशनर भी आया. अभी कलकत्ता एक क्लाइंट से मिला, he told me he produced 40 items for hair only. सर आपके लिए नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी. And some 17-18 items they produce for beard. So what is happening? And these things are not being captured by most analysts because we got stuck in history. अरे भाई जब हिस्ट्री क्रिएट हो रही है ना तो हिस्ट्री को देखना बंद कर दो. और एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज आपको बोल के जाता हूं मैं, आप सब एडवाइजर है ना, रिटर्न बैटल खत्म हो जाएगा. Lot of people will have lot of money and they don't know what to do with it. Family size is shrinking. First time ever in the recorded history, our girl child will inherit lots of wealth. Have you prepared them?
Thank you, sir. And Kanakji, we can have the questions here from audience where
Write your learnings over here and keep writing, and we can have 1 or 2 questions. I thought, no, have you seen both of them on social media? How many of you follow? Raise of hands. Bus? Only 60%? Only 65%? Okay, so you see both of them, no, doing lot of exercise. Okay, सिर्फ करण ही नहीं करता है जिम में एक्सरसाइज, इवन विजय इज ऑल्सो देयर. हाँ, अभी आई कैन बेट यू, अगर ये दोनों यहाँ पे अभी डिप्स लगाना शुरू करें ना, ऑल ऑफ यू विल लूज, बोथ ऑफ देम विल विन. अब इन दोनों में कौन जीतेगा वो मुझे नहीं मालूम.
बिल्कुल लेडी बोल सकती है बात.
Ramesh bhai.
Yeah, there are many. There are many. Wife and children, daughters, daughters, daughters.
Only why not son?
Give a mic now.
Silence, sir. So people are writing the learnings from your session.
ये गिरेगा कब?
सारिका ने अपने हस्बैंड का बिजनेस उनके जाने के बाद संभाला और सारिका के पास कोई गाइडेंस नहीं था. किसी ने नहीं, सारिका कोई नहीं सोचता कि कौन जाएगा. इट वॉज एन अनफॉर्चुनेट थिंग एंड बहुत ब्रेवली शी हैव डन इट. तो सर कौन पहले जाएगा ये तो नहीं पता, चले तो चांद तक नहीं तो रात तक वाला सा हाल हम सबका है. तो वाई नॉट टू प्रिपेयर योर बेटर हाफ्स ऑन दैट, वाई नॉट टू प्रिपेयर योर डॉटर्स ऑन दैट. एंड व्हेन आई से डॉटर, भले ही वो आपका बिजनेस करे नहीं करे, उनको फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट और उनको फाइनेंशियली लिटरेट करने का होमवर्क आपका है. जब अपनी बेटियों को लिटरेट करोगे, फाइनेंशियली
तो
एजुकेट
ये
करोगे तो
सवाल
दुनिया को
श्वेता सबके
कराओगे.
लिए हो गया, करण
हाँ.
और विजय के लिए ही नहीं है.
हाँ, ये सभी के लिए हो गया सर.
इसका सवाल, इस सवाल का जवाब रमेश भाई आपको लंच के दौरान बहुत अच्छे से देंगे, क्योंकि यही सामर्थ्यवान है इस सवाल का जवाब देने
Yes,
के लिए.
sir. There's one interesting question I have seen. Market कब गिरेगा? I've seen a beautiful market कब गिरेगा? Because I've seen market is not correcting at all. Even if it corrects, is it worth 12.5% paying capital gains? Will it fall more than 12.5%? Actually, it is not 12.5. It is 14.3 when it crosses 1 crore. Normally, everybody is booking more than a crore a profit. So
what you are saying ये market समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
yes.
Okay. How many of you are married? So, do you understand the mood of your spouse? So, do you judge your life on the basis of आज सुबह झगड़ा हुआ, क्या रहा, प्यार हुआ? The best way to prove your love for your spouse is to stay together and do nothing. Don't try to understand. So, the best way is that आप stay invested रहो. और आप हिंदी सिनेमा देखते हो ना, हिंदी सिनेमा में हीरो होता है बचपन में, भागता रहता है, सडनली रील चेंज होती है और एकदम यंग बन जाता, मास्टर मयूर अमिताभ बच्चन बन जाता, देखा ना? वैसे ही 10-15 साल में निफ्टी सेंसेक्स बन जाता है.
एक विजय एज यूजुअल तूने अमिताभ बच्चन वाला विजय डायलॉग मार दिया. सो एक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट हैज बीन कांस्टेंट बिटवीन मी एंड विजय हैज बीन, प्लीज लुक एट एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ डेकेड्स. ईयर्स में इस देश में जो हो रहा है वो वॉलेटिलिटी रहेगा, बट डेकेड्स में ये वेल्थ क्रिएशन वाली स्टोरी है. एंड आई वांट टू लीव यू वन लास्ट आइडिया और अ थॉट दैट कैपिटल मार्केट्स आर important, but national security is most important. So we are very blessed to be in a country जहाँ पे security of the citizens and security of the country is number one agenda for the present government. So अगर वो ठीक है तो you will make money in capital markets also. So with that,
Thank you, sir. It was an excellent session because we are continuously seeing a lot of feedbacks coming in. And thank you.
Swati ji coming and recognizing Vijay sir. Anita Datta Kanbargi, please come and felicitate Karan sir. And Sarika, please come and recognize Ramesh sir. And these people are the contributors, these people are the community contributors because they have been doing so many sessions and